name is Charron Monaye, and I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I have been writing for, I want to say, about maybe almost 30 years. My writing career started in 1992 as a poet, and it has evolved over the years. I have written so many different genres. I have written children's books, I've written nonfiction, I've written business, I've written journals and devotionals, and I've also have written nonfiction, self-help, inspiration type books. And the thing that makes me a unique author slash writer, because I don't like to put myself in a box, but the thing that makes me a unique writer author is that I write conversations, I want to say, that matter. I write stories that are untold. I write stories of the voiceless that wants to be heard. I tell those stories of things that we need to hear, things that we long for, things we need to know, things to keep us engaged and growing and evolved. I take what's silence and I actually give it voice. So when it comes to me being an author, I have published, I want to say, about 26 books under my name. I'm also a book publisher, and I have the opportunity of publishing others. The name of my company is Pen Legacy. But for me and my name as an author, the book series, I'm going to discuss my series. So my book series that I'm most proud of is entitled The Adventures of Michelle. It is a children's book series for ages 4 and 9. And adventure, I always say The Adventures of Michelle is just like Dora. I have The Adventures of Michelle, and Michelle goes on different types of adventures. She travels. She doesn't have a friend boots, and she doesn't have a book bag. However, she goes to some really cool places with her friends or classmates, and of course her family, her mom and dad. We have the Imagine Life Without African American Inventors, Michelle and Her Magical Pen. I love this book. This book actually teaches children the importance of writing. Another one of my favorites is Michelle Opens Her First Bank Account. If you know, like I know, kids love money. They love money, and not necessarily to spend their own, but to spend yours as parents. So in that book, Michelle's mom takes her to a bank to actually open her first bank account, and she gets the opportunity to talk about, savings, what is a bank account, how bank accounts can help you, whether it's a bank or credit union, all kind of things, to kind of get them introduced to financial literacy. I always say my biggest inspiration comes from my children. For real. My biggest inspiration comes from my children, Christopher and Craig. Even though I have been writing books, like I said, different genres, for years since I was a kid. I started writing books at the age of 14. Writing for me was always a way of an expression. So being able now to continue that expression, but now not only using my life experiences to be able to teach, educate, inspire people, I look at my children and see how they're navigating and listening to some of their stories and their friends' stories and things that they're going to, especially when it comes to the Adventures of Michelle children's book series. Even though a lot of these stories is things that I enjoy, they allow me to be youthful, to be able to pull some of what the youth is saying to be able to resonate. Or even if I'm writing a devotional, some of the things that they may talk about that they're going through, I'm like, okay, if you're going through it, I know other children are going through it. So let's talk about that as well. And then if children are going through it, I know adults are going through it. So it's opening up that conversation, or they give me different perspective on certain things, or they'll give me different topics to challenge me. So even when I don't have a story in me to tell, I can always find a story in them. So my inspiration goes to my children, hands down. For me, when it comes to my biggest accomplishment as an author, I've had so many. I've won awards. I've been recognized by governors. the United Nations. I just got inducted into the prestigious Marquis Who's Who of America, class 23-24. Me being an author has given me so many different great opportunities. I've adapted my books into scripts. I've had some of my books turned into stage plays and premiered in California, off Broadway, Philadelphia, DC. I have not just been an author when it comes to my books. I've actually allowed my books to grow wings and take whatever form needed to actually get those stories out there. I believe that one of my greatest accomplishments has been able to take my books and adapt them to script, to actually be, played out in front of audiences everywhere, to hear the ooh ahs or the clappings or the talk back to the cast. It's the most greatest feeling. Like when a person's reading your work, you can't hear the feedback. You read the reviews, but the feedback, you don't get that immediate. But being able to adapt your book into a script and actually get the feedback, the approval, if you will, the validation that what you're writing, your love of telling stories is actually resonating, it keeps you motivated to keep writing. So that has been one of my biggest and greatest accomplishments, is being able to take my books, take my stories, and showcase them in productions across the United States. So if you are aspiring to be an author, I would definitely say my biggest advice would be to learn the industry. Book publishing is not the same as it was years ago. Okay, when I came up in '92, we didn't have all of this. We didn't have, IngramSparks. We didn't have coaches and resources or different things. If you had to be in, you had to network to be able to get your story out there. You had to know someone. Definitely understand the process and what makes a great story, what makes a great published book. You want to make sure that you're creating a project and that you're developing a story that will outlive you. You want your book to last beyond just this year or next year or the year you decide to publish. So know the industry, understand what you're getting yourself into, so this way your book will be successful. I have been working with IngramSpark, I want to say, since 2015. And since 2015 to 2024, I have had some amazing experiences. I love the fact that their distribution reaches to over 40,000 retailers. I love that I am a person who goes big on everything, and being able to know that my book is going to different continents, not just United States, but all over, is amazing. I love looking at my sales reports and seeing that I've sold books in UK. It's the most amazing feeling. Or I sold books in Denmark or India or Poland, and I'm like, I've never even been to these places, but my books are there. Like, that is the most amazing feeling, is to know that you are an international author, and different opportunities that come from those, my books being over in those other countries. And I've never been there, but again, Charron Monaye and all 26 of her books are there. So that is one I can say I am very grateful for IngramSpark for doing, because they are taking me places that as you see, I haven't taken myself. It's definitely a great informational tool. They're not just a platform where you upload and go on about your business. It's like you have a second set of eyes that will make sure that you're putting out your best work. You just cannot go wrong with Ingram. As I said, I've been with Ingram 2015. Every single book I publish for myself and my authors are done under Ingram. I am definitely a fan, and I am overly enjoyed that we have had this working relationship since 2015, and I don't see us stopping anytime soon.